Hi, my name's Sam Latronico, and this is my submission for software development for mobile devices. So to begin with, I'm going to be going over the key functions of the app. So this is designed for police officers, anybody basically that's going to be working within the law enforcement department that's going to be attending to crime scenes, needing to take photographic evidence of the initial scene. Basically what the app can do is it's designed to initially you log in. There is no way to create an account with this app. You have to be provided with a username and password in order to gain access. You'll then be able to creating a case number, and you'll be given the option to be able to list items, descriptions of the images that you'll be taking. You'll then have the option to open the camera API that's built into the Android development, and from there you will take your pictures, add these to the evidence, and you can upload these to a remote server, which I'm using FileZilla for the purposes of development and for this particular project. What the app also does is it asks for your PC name, your badge number, and all this gets recorded. So the security element, sort of the theory behind this, developing this app, was initially each device should really hold standard security regulated for law enforcement use. So therefore that should eliminate any sort of issues with security elements with the app anyway. However, as mentioned before, there is no way to sign up to the app. It is accounts that need to be generated. Whoever has admin access will be able to generate them. So therefore, it's not as if anybody can just download this app and use it. Now, for the purposes of development and the coursework, I've been using standard FTP. However, obviously, should this go into production and become a live app, you would be using FTPS, which would be the more secure file transfer protocol, that would be used in order to secure the sort of transfer of them files from the Android device across to the remote server being used. Now, the username and password that's being required for my app is getting hashed using MD5. And another security element with this device is none of the pictures that get taken whilst using the app get stored on the device. They simply get stored within the app itself. Once this is then zipped and sent across to the FileZilla, the remote server, the pictures are no longer then stored or held within the device. So personally, I did come across many issues. My biggest issue was just a general lack of understanding mobile app development. Programming in general was just not been my strongest point throughout my sort of technical education path. So there has been a lot of references involved, a lot of referring to YouTube videos, a lot of referring to development websites, forums where other people are discussing how they've got around certain issues. I have been referring to other people within the university, kind of getting ideas and people guiding me in certain directions, which has helped me massively. So yeah, there has been a lot of problems encountered, and the sort of solutions for me around these is seeking guidance and support from other people that are around me and are available at the time that can guide me in the right direction, or provide me with a link, or provide me with examples of similar issues that I can kind of study and get my head around and apply similar methodologies to my own project. I did have some emulator issues, which I thought I'd just mention here as well, which was an issue. To begin with, I managed to get around this. However, it wouldn't let me download an emulator with an API of 28 or higher, which was kind of required. So there was issues with that, but the solution around that was simply just deleting the emulator, deleting all references to it, and just reinstalling it, and miraculously this worked. Now, the future improvements for myself for the app, just with it being a sort of standard app that I've kind of created for the purposes of this coursework, and with there being time constraints alongside other projects having to be undertaken also. The general display, for the purposes of the coursework, the sort of focus has been more on running the app and making sure that it's working successfully and kind of doing what it's meant to do. But obviously you could make the display of this and just the general layout a lot more appealing and a lot more kind of nice and clean on the eye. Currently I've only incorporated the ability to be able to take a photograph, not the ability to sort of take video should video evidence be required. So that would be something that I'd like to look into. With just the way of devices nowadays, the way of gaining access to the app and the security level of it, if people are using devices that have secure fingerprint or facial recognition login for users, and this can be an element that could be brought in. More secure hashing algorithm for the username and password. Again, MD5 has just simply been used for the purposes of the coursework. However, using SHA or something more advanced in the future would be something you could look into. Currently, you have to list the description of the items that's being taken for the purposes of the photographs that are being taken prior to taking the images. However, I would have liked to have been able to incorporate a way of you taking an image along with there being a comment box underneath the image for you to describe specifically for that image. However, for now, it's the way that it is. And again, another thing would be to automatically generate case numbers that could be stored with potentially even the geographical locations attached to these instantly, so that way law enforcement aren't having to manually type these in each time, and it just makes everything a bit more efficient. So that was the sort of PowerPoint that I'd put together just for the purposes of explaining a few bits. So I'm just going to simply run the app now. And here it is, just reloading. Now, this is the app in use. So, as mentioned, there is no way to sign up to the app, and it does require you to have a username and password login, which can only be given by whoever has admin access to the app. So for the purposes of testing, I've created an account called admin. So you simply just type in the username and password. Now, once logged into the app, this is the next screen that you come across. Now, as you can see, you have separate tabs along the bottom. So you have a settings tab, which allows you to change the information of the servers or the server address of the remote server that the information is being sent to. The new case screen is the screen that it defaults to taking you to, which is creating the case from the main purpose of the app. And the file server is another tab that's been developed, another screen, which allows the user to be able to see all the cases in a sort of list form that have already been generated. So you get taken to the new case screen, and you simply click on create new case. Now, on the next screen that you come across, this is where you get to add your badge number, add the case description, and add case items. So for the purposes of the video, I'll just put badge number as 1, 2, 3, 4. Case description as testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for example, there may be a USB, let's say 32 gigabytes. This could be black. There may also be an iPad, 2nd gen also, and white, and so on and so forth. So this is the section where you would just simply list all the items as to which you're taking photographs of. Once you've filled out all this information, you simply move on to the next page, and this just gives you an overview of so far the case ID, which is the number that it will be registered at in the file, and just some general information. So from here, you have buttons such as open the camera utility, which is going to be the next step to take the pictures. Zip the files, which is what needs to be done prior to then uploading them to the server. So let's open the camera and take the pictures. Now, for the purpose of development, I'm obviously using an emulator through my laptop here. So I have used a feature that comes with the emulator in Android Studio. So it's sort of a virtual room that you can see. But for example, if this was the crime scene, you would simply take the image. Now, unfortunately, this stage does tend to run a bit slow through the emulator. And then you get the option to either go back, cross off the image and retake, or accept. So we will accept this image and simply add to evidence. Now returning back to this screen, that's been added, and you simply zip the file and upload to server. Now, the great thing about this app is that it also has the ability to, should you come out of the camera and zip the files and then realise there are additional images that you wish to take, you can just simply reopen the camera, take a few additional images, re-zip the file and re-upload this to the server, and the additional images will be there. The reason this doesn't duplicate anything within the file system is because it's using the same case ID and case identification. So this is the app, this is how it runs. So you can simply cancel, go back, navigate throughout the different settings. Now just to sort of prove, this is FileZilla and connect. So simply connect here. So as you can see, my case files, and that was case file 8, which has successfully been uploaded to FileZilla. Now, if I was to download this, and let's now go and retrieve this information. So case 8. A zipped file. You can see here we have the images and all the data displayed nicely. Badge number 123, all the information here that we'd put in of the black USB and the iPad and the amount of files that are registered to this.